Good afternoon, and thank you very much for offering me this opportunity to share with you what we do at European level to contribute to the objectives that you have all set today. So really, if you give me the floor, it's an offer I can't refuse, and I would also like to thank the organizers that they have added me last minute on the panel. From just having been here and heard and seen, I can agree on everything. The analysis, the mainstream aspect, the fact that we need to keep talking, the fact that climate change is there and yet still a lot of people don't believe it or don't continue to act towards the objectives that we have set at global level. But that is politics, and maybe I would like to, the couple of minutes I get here, to put another dimension of how to achieve the objectives on which we all agree and the needs that we have identified. Of course, you always need a policy and a policy on climate change, but also a research and innovation policy, and that is also something that we are very much engaged in at the European level, is to have a research and innovation policy that can underpin the objectives that we set at a political level. And one of them is, of course, to combat climate change. You don't only need a policy, and that's where I would like to quickly focus a little bit on, which you, without a PowerPoint, so it might be a little bit more difficult, but it's only an introduction, because I believe that you all agree that you don't only need a policy, but you need an instrument to implement your policy, or let's put it more straightforward, you need funding. We have identified the need of research and innovation, but that is costly these days, and so also that needs to be funded. At European Union level, we have an instrument for that, which is called, and I hope that many of you know it, if not, it's a good opportunity for me to introduce it, which is called the Horizon 2020 Research Framework Program. And it's a program in which we set a budget, tremendous budget, but it is for 28 member states in the first place for a period of 7 years. But this instrument, Horizon 2020, is open to the world. So it also means that it is open to participation of India. It's open to participation of India research institutes, universities, scientists, but more importantly, because overall what I believe is that if we have to achieve our objectives on climate change, is that we need to involve increasingly industry, the SMEs, because we need the technology to combat or to achieve the objectives. Whether some examples have been already mentioned, it's on cleaner water, of course. First of all, we shouldn't create any longer dirty water, but that's an even longer-term objective. But a fact is, India, and not only India, all the problems that you have in India and are in a certain proportion and a different dimension or scale also in Europe, you need technology. Now, I have to say that having worked for about 15 years now in the research and innovation policy at European level, we do have, and allow me this little publicity, a lot of technology on greener economy, on water purification, on wastewater management, on efficient use of energy, on renewable energy, on bringing all the different type of renewable energies managed in an efficient way through smart grids. So that is a fairly degree of technology that we have, and in seeking cooperation in India, we are opening our doors of the Horizon 2020 program to share that knowledge. And also something which was said here today is to make that technology adaptable and affordable to the Indian market. And that is why we are in the discussion with our main counterpartner. And I don't know now if the colleague of the Department of Science and Technology is here, of DST, But of course, we are our partner in DST is of the multilateral department, but we are in daily contact with them to see how we can increase that cooperation. And the way we are doing this is, of course, first of all, this program on Horizon 2020, in which all the topics that we have identified that you know are necessary, that you have knowledge of, and that we are knowing that it would help to combat the climate change or to mitigate it, is virtually foreseen as ways, as possibilities of cooperation on research and innovation in this famous research and innovation program Horizon 2020. And the way we organize it is always based on the calls of proposals, and we have calls of proposals in a span of 2 years. So we had the 2014-15, we have the 2016-17. These parties are over, but what is good and timely today is that I can announce that on the end of October, we will launch a new package of substantial calls of proposals, including on everything related to environment, climate action, environment, resource efficiency, and raw materials, to name only one of the building blocks of this research and innovation program. And once our calls of proposals are open, end of October, I really invite you to look at it and to see what are your areas of interest and competence, because everything is based on calls of proposals, and I also have to say it's rather competitive. So you can have an interest, but you also need to have a certain competence to work in a multilateral consortia. When I say multilateral, it means that we always need a fixed number of institutes, universities, SMEs from the European Union member states and associated countries, France, Germany, Hungary, Poland, Switzerland, Norway. I'm sure that everybody here in this room has already connections with any of the countries, institutes, innovators that we are working with. And then you can add to you can be part of such a consortia. But there's not only a question of participation, it's also a question of the funding, because as I said, you need a policy, but you need also funding. And that's where we are in discussions with the Department of Science and Technology to ensure that they would co-fund, as we call that, the successful Indian participants. And that means that if you are in because they themselves, they value very much the research and the scientific excellence that we do at European level, and the way our consortia are peer-reviewed, which really means that it will make a difference to work at a pan-European level, and that you will benefit a lot of knowledge and sharing technology and adapt that technology to a market, because we have had experiences intra-community with member states that are much further advanced than other member states, where we also have already experienced sharing knowledge and adapting technologies to more suitable climate environment for even water technologies that have to be adapted to specific environments. So please look at our program Horizon 2020. It's open to the world. We will have many calls of proposals in which you are all eligible to participate. And then there's the question of funding. That's kind of a negotiation that we are doing, but it would also be good that you press your national authorities that they do co-fund when you are successful in such a competitive Horizon 2020 project. And that is my contribution towards your objectives on climate change, because even if climate change at EU level is a mainstream policy, another thing is we won't achieve any of the objectives without more efforts on research and innovation. And a lot is already there. So it's also a question sometimes of knowing it and making sure that we can matchmaking industries all the right institute with experience to speed up the process, because it's really time to act. And I hope that this intervention will trigger your curiosity to open the website of Horizon 2020. You can already do it now, but certainly as from end of October, look at the opportunities, and we are available for more information if you want to go into consortia and cooperate with us on to achieve the objectives that we all share. Thank you very much.